fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
We run this program like the Lewiston, Maine police run a manhunt. That's all I know. Speaking of manhunt, gotta get that guy out of there. That's manhunt. No. We're just like one fucked up fuck up right from the fucking fuck up side. All right, guys. Get that last note. Thank you. Right on time. Very good. Good morning, folks. It's Friday, your favorite day of the week. Friday, October 27th, 2023. I guess this is Halloween weekend. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, you'll see a picture on my timeline of either one of those about of somebody who went as Matt Nappo. They came up with a Matt Nappo costume, and it looks pretty convincingly like me, even to me. I had to do a double take. Is that me? No, it's not me. It's somebody in a Matt Nappo costume. Now, the thing with that is very few people in the world would even have any clue what that actually means. Even I have a tough time understanding what it actually means. But nobody recognizes. So it just looks like a dude who looks like me. It's an ugly costume is basically what it comes down to. Anyway, we are having Native American summer, Indigenous people summer, not Indian summer. That's for sure. It's not Indian because it doesn't sound like Apu. Oh, I am in so much trouble already. But it's very warm is what I'm getting at. Yesterday was almost 80 degrees. Beautiful day. I had 2 shows at the VA in Northport, New York. Very interesting shows, to say the least. But I feel like I got ripped off. I got talked into doing, and listen, I would do benefits for the vets any day of the week. But I got talked into doing a freebie as the guy who runs the agency asked me if I would do a freebie. And he was going to be, buying lunch and everything for the residents I was doing 2 shows for. And, we only do it once a year. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then I found out, first of all, he didn't buy a lunch or pizza or anything that he had planned or that he told me he was going to buy for the residents. They were just eating their regular crazy house cafeteria food, which sucks. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He didn't. And then I talked to the recreational directors there, and it turns out he charged for both of the shows. So he charged full price for both of the shows. So he asked me to help him do a benefit that he actually took the money for. Didn't sit well with me. And there's probably going to be some major screaming on the phone today over that. Now, I would do a benefit for the vets any day of the week. But don't tell me you're doing it as a benefit and then be taking money for it. It makes me feel like I got taken advantage of. They got taken advantage of. And you didn't buy them lunch. You told me you were going to buy them lunch. That was another thing that we were expecting on that. So I'm in a bad mood about that. Then got the family coming back we're not having a funeral for my stepfather. At least that's what I was told. We're not having a funeral. We're going to do a memorial on a week from now. I don't know why she needs a week to recover, whatever. But she's meeting with people at a funeral home today, I guess, to do this memorial. Anyway, her family is coming back, and the family, her brother who lives in Texas, put on Facebook last night that he was flying into LaGuardia this morning at 6:25, and could I pick him up? Where you staying? Are you coming here? Because we already have a full house. We already got your sister and your sisters, and they're all kids on leashes and stuff. I didn't know anything about this, so I go in. My wife's, she's dealing with a loss of her father, and not dealing with it well. And she was in her sleeping, and I said, "Is Ray J coming here?" Because she said, "I don't know. I can't deal with this right now." And then she's yelling at me, and I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out if I got to get up early and go to LaGuardia and get back here in time to start the show. Uh, and am I bringing him here? Because I can't pick him up in LaGuardia and then taxi him all around Long Island, trying to find a place for him to stay. And if he's staying here, where's he staying? We already got a full house. Now she's like lividly mad at me, screaming at me. It was not a good night. So there's that. And now today I gotta get off the air by 11 so I can be to that interview for my congressional campaign today at 12:30. A lot of running around. The wife is running around with her family, trying to, I don't know, make accommodations or arrangements for shit that I don't know what's going on. Everything's all confused, and it's Friday. I booked Andy Andrus, who was our first guest, my first guest on Coffee with the Dog, however many years ago it is now. And he will be our 500th guest on November 6th, which might end up being the day that they're having the memorial, but it won't be in the morning. So anyway, but Andy will be here. But now, also, I'm getting these people, comedians from different places where I posted ads for comedians asking for dates on the show, and I got 6 different people. I put on the calendar, 500th episode, do not book. And I got 6 different people putting on asking for November 6th, but also none of them can read the instructions. It says the show is from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, and every single one of them is asking for a 11:15 spot, or a 1:15 p.m. spot, or a 2:15. Read the instructions. What is Friday, and I'm in a bad mood. Maybe the guys will cheer me up. They'll be in just 1 second. Um, last thing I wanted to say was about this manhunt that is still going on for a guy who left a suicide note. Now, after 24 hours of manhunt, they decided he's still in his house. And they got into the house. Well, first they were negotiating with the house. Come on out with your hands up, with the bullhorns and all that kind of stuff. Turns out he wasn't in there. They broke into the house. They get into the house and they find the suicide note, but he's not there. But wouldn't the house be the first place you would look? Wouldn't that, if you're looking at your manhunt for a guy, wouldn't his home be the first place you would check? Not 24 hours later. And then to be out there talking to his house with bullhorns. It seems like the Lewiston, Maine police have a lot in common with my production capabilities over here. They suck. Anyway, the people of the neighborhood are still shut down, and they have a 50-mile radius. Now, they got the guy's car. They have people sheltering in place, 50-mile radius from where the shootings were. You think he's walking 50 miles in any direction with an AR-15 or whatever he has, long gun, and they still don't find him? It's baffling. The stupidity of America is baffling. And I'll just end that part of this discussion on this. People are saying we don't have a gun problem. We have a gun problem. We have a mental illness problem. But above all, we have a religion problem. And the people who don't see this coming, this fucking Speaker of the House that we have now, Bible thumping retard. Yes, Bible thumping retard. With all apologies to anybody who might be wearing the cloth today or a business card making it look like he's wearing the cloth today. All apologies to any religious people out there. The book is a fairy tale. The book is written by men, lots of different men, with contradicting stories. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe in God. I don't know about any of that stuff. But the book, while it may have some value to some people, is a fucking fairy tale about a man who lives in the clouds, who loves you, but wants you to kill each other, who basically gets girls pregnant without fucking them, and then stands in judgment of you. Listen, we cannot become a nation that is guided by a 2,000-year-old book of fairy tales. We can't. But we are on that slope. Friday morning. This is not funny. This is not funny shit. I tuned in for funny. Well, maybe these guys will be funny. I don't know. Welcome. Good morning, Willie. And good morning, Dr. Rev Jerry. Well, I apologize for my anti-religion rant for you, I have to say.
First of all, I got to get this in contractually. I don't always drink coffee. Mine dog coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, I put a little bump in it for the Lord.
Well, I always drink coffee. I never put
Praise
a bump
Jesus.
in it. What?
And the thing you said about the good book being a fable, fantasy, and maybe having good stuff. Let's see what the good book has to say about that.
Oh my God.
You got me there. Okay, so.
Oh my God. No,
Kind of like the clam. I don't know if you guys know the clam.
Wow.
You don't know the clam.
This show is turning more into Pee Wee's Playhouse by the day.
Yeah. Do I have the clam? I probably don't even have.
We could get, if you could get some eyes to put on like the top half of that, you know what I mean?
I thought there were some eyes on the top.
And then are there eyes on it? Are there eyes? Did I miss it? Did I not see it?
Yeah.
Somebody
blind as shit. All right,
somebody blind as shit. They don't know. Can't you see my eyes? My eyes are up here.
Hey, look, I'm looking on a phone, not a computer.
You're so used to looking at titties, you don't see my eyes are up here.
What?
I mean, that's true. That is true. I'm bad at that. I'm real bad at that.
Yeah.
The other thing that occurred to me was, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. We had Scott Cartfit on. You're aware of that, obviously.
Yes.
On the other day, Blue Angels fighter. The day after he's on the show, a Chinese fighter jet buzzes an F-35. What was it? A B-52. One of those. Buzzing one of our planes. So
those are two very different planes.
I know. I don't remember which one it was though. But still, the day after we have a fighter pilot on, Chinese are buzzing American jets, and timing is everything. Like the best outcome would have been if the Chinese would have buzzed the plane the day before, so we could talk to him about that and Chinese capabilities.
Right, yeah.
According to the Pentagon, they came within 10 feet of the U.S. jet and almost crashed it.
Wow.
Wow. It seemed intentional.
Missed it by that much.
What was that? What about your left nut?
Jeez.
You got a left nut?
I remember when I was younger, like when I was a teenager, like I'd see that like Marilyn Manson was going to be playing nearby or whatever, and I'd be like, man, I give my left nut to see Marilyn Manson. Yeah, I don't say that shit
I get
anymore.
it. I get it.
I don't say that anymore. No.
No.
Nope. It's the only one I got left.
Yeah. I want to find a clam. So you guys talk amongst yourself really quick. I mean, the clam is a very short bit, but I got to find the clam.
What's up, Reverend? How was church on Sunday? I'm sorry, I slept in.
Well, the reviews are in, and it was reviewed, definitely reviewed. So,
Well, I'll make sure to send in some prayer requests. I planned on being there this Sunday. I think I might have gotten drunk with my wife. I think that's what happened, and then we both slept in on Sunday morning. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
my
cool.
apologies.
No,
that's
you know.
okay. I'm
I
here
don't-
to remind everybody that Sunday's coming, and that Sunday at 9:00 I'll be coming. If you're coming, we can all come together, and that makes
Come
us
together.
Yes,
It sounds like I should bring a towel.
Yes.
Or goggles.
Goggles are good. Wow, it's like a Gallagher show, huh?
Yeah. I downloaded the clam. Now I got to upload the clam. So I'm still taking a
Oh
minute.
man, there's a lot of clam activity this morning. I tell you.
I know. So we have Jackie the Joke Man coming on at 9:30. So we have a lot to get to there, and then Peter Bales will be on at 10:15. Peter Bales.
Oh, okay, great. I thought, okay, are they not gonna? Is Jackie gonna hang around when Peter's on, or are they?
Yes, he is. I mean, he's
Okay,
gonna hold his hand and make sure he doesn't fuck up like that. Last night at like midnight, I started getting. Peter needs a link. Like Jackie has the link. I'm like, see now this is pissing me off.
So
everything is pissing me off.
How did y'all get Peter Sellers to be on here? Isn't he dead?
Peter Bales.
Peter Bales.
Oh, Bales. Oh, okay. Why? The print is just so damn small. I was confused. So
yeah,
I like Peter Sellers, but I didn't think we'd get him on the show this late.
Are you gonna be doing any musical numbers? Like, are you gonna have music ever at church, Reverend Jelly Roll? I was just wondering about that.
We definitely will have at least one Christmas song that GD has recorded for me.
Nice.
It's actually technically he recorded it like 10 years ago, and it just seemed appropriate still. And he only knew the one Christmas song, so he wasn't going to record the same song 3 times. He only knows the one, and he doesn't. He's not a good guitarist. He only knows like 9 chords. So any song that has those 9 chords, he can play it. So.
Well, the only thing I can play is Smoke on the Water, and I have to sing 035 0365 03530 when I do it. So otherwise I'll mess up if I don't do that.
Well, those were the original words.
Yeah.
When they first wrote it, that's how they sang it. And the audience was like going crazy. And then the fire happened and they changed the words.
That ain't right. That ain't the way to play it. That ain't the way to play it. That ain't the way
No,
to play
I'm sure it's not, but that's the extent of my guitaring.
All right. Let me see if I can play the clam here. Can I play the clam? Wait, is that even the clam? I don't even know if that's the clam.
Could be the oyster.
Listen, if you can't find the clam, you're definitely not finding the clit.
I know.
Yeah, just saying.
That ain't the
clam. That's not a clam.
That was a little musical.
That's an octopus.
That was a man dressed as a clam.
Dressed as a clam. The clam man. Now, where the hell did the clam go? We lost.
I've been looking
clam.
for one of those.
Oh, maybe this is the clam. No, that ain't the clam. This is the clam. Here's the clam. Come on, clam. Come on,
Did I
clam.
get put in? Yeah.
It's just spinning. There it is. Man. Oh,
yes, it did. Hey, mister. Can I talk to you? Yeah, you. Can I talk to you? Personally, I don't get any of this bearded clam shtick, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, do you think I look like that? I mean, my wife, she was a bearded clam, but that's another story. Anyway, wait a minute. I got a clam. Anyway, that's a little clam shtick. You know, some people say I'm an old crab. Some people tell me I'm a shellfish bastard. You get it? Shellfish bastard. A little clam shtick. Anyway, I'm a little steamed. You know what I mean? A little steam. Hey, baby, come over here. I want to show you my muscles. Anyway, what was they saying? Oh, yeah, I'm pissed. I'm one pissed clam. Not a pissed clam. I'm a pissed clam. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when it comes to chowder, I can't get into it. You get it? That's a little joke. Anyway, the thing I'm trying to say to you.
The clam. The book with the eyes and the finger. All you have to do is paint your fingers white and put a little black dots on them. And then you got the eyes.
Then the eyes will be
Clam stick. That was 1980, 81, something like that, with my first video camera.
That reminded me of when Chet in the Weird Science movie got turned into a toad by Kelly LeBrock. You know what I'm talking about?
No. Kelly LeBrock.
It's in the cult class.
Oh yeah. That was Weird
Remember
Science?
It was an 80s hit, Weird Science.
Yeah.
There was a part in that movie because Kelly LeBrock had like magical powers and shit. And so Chet, I think Bill Paxton, I think is the guy who played him. The guy from Twister and Titanic. That's Bill Paxton, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. But anyway,
he's dead, right?
he played the older brother that was just a total douchebag.
Right.
And so she turned him into a toad. And but he was like this giant ass fucking toad. And so she's sitting there talking to him in the fucking kitchen. And it looked a lot like that.
Nice. All right. Let's get to some commercials really quick because we have a lot to do here today. I don't know. Who are we going to play? Let's play with Daily High Club. All right. Let's play the Daily High Club.
Nice.
Please. Daily High Club is not what it sounds like. They're not going to send you weed, but they'll send you everything else you need.
They'll send
not
you cool
weed,
shit,
everything else you need. That's their slogan. Not weed, everything else you need.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just another retailer. We're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box. Or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Get started today. Visit minddogtv.com and click on the banner on the homepage.
Yeah, Daily High Club, in case you need stuff to get high with. Willie, did your package ever arrive? Are you muted?
I am muted. Of course I'm muted. Yes, it arrived yesterday. And my wife and I smoked a blunt of it this morning, actually.
Did it suck?
I mean, it's not what we're used to. Yeah. You know, it's definitely not the same level we're used to, but we smoke probably some of the highest quality stuff available in our area for sure.
Right. I don't think he knows how to cure it. He knows how to grow it. He grows. I mean, it's pretty when it's growing, but there's a whole art to curing it, hanging it upside down in the right place, in the right humidity. They do all that kind of fancy shit with it. And I don't think he's hip to that. Anyway. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not surprising for homegrown, but that's why. But it's a nice gesture, and I appreciate it.
All right, well, sing homegrown. Come on, sing homegrown. Come on, sing it. Homegrown.
What?
Sing the song, homegrown.
I said homegrown.
No, sing the song, homegrown. Sing the song. Sing the song, homegrown.
There's a song? Yeah. Homegrown? What song is this?
Forget it.
This would be a good time to do the critical joke theory? Should we just put?
Yeah, you could do critical joke theory.
Yeah.
I don't want to run into the jokey job.
Yeah, this is
jokey
a good
guy.
time to do it. We got you're just on time. Come on, get
Yeah.
to it.
All
You
right.
want to
The
win that.
Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 27. Now with new joke technology. As of this recording, there is a manhunt in the Lewiston, Maine area for 40-year-old Robert Card. Robert Card is said to be armed and dangerous. Maine's 37 black residents are not suspects. Card's sister-in-law, Katie Card, described him as, let me guess, quiet, quirky, and kept to himself. Let's see.
I think you just played the race card.
Quote, quiet. All right, I got quiet. Loving. Loving. Hardworking. Damn. So close. So close. All I need is right-wing gun nut for bingo. Republicans select Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson as the new Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson is a virtual unknown to sane people. Johnson is best known for his cult-like loyalty to Donald Trump and his extreme positions on society in general. Once you get to know Mike Johnson, you will no doubt call him Mike Hunt. If Donald Trump is the parasite in the body of our democracy, then Mike Johnson is one of Trump's hatchlings. Hamas has released 2 American citizens that Hamas was holding hostage in hopes that they would gain some favor with who exactly? They also released 2 elderly Jewish women that they kidnapped because they were old and fragile. They were old and fragile when they were kidnapped. They weren't going to get younger once they were taken. So why take them in the first place?
That's a good point.
Let's get this right. Hamas attacked, raped, slaughtered, and kidnapped hundreds of people, gives 4 of them back, and thinks that makes them look civil. And I thought Trump supporters were crazy. Okay, they still are crazy. But now the MAGA supporters have a new slogan. MAGA, we're not Hamas.
Oh my God.
A group of 41 states and the District of Columbia sued Meta on Tuesday, accusing the tech giant of unfairly hooking children to its platforms, including Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Messenger, and pushing them towards harmful content. The CEO of Meta responded, "What if we call ourselves Facebook SquarePants?"
Oh.
The United Auto Workers Union have reached a tentative deal with Ford. The deal gives the auto workers an 11% raise upon signing of the deal and 25% raise over 4 years, as well as other benefits. To some, Ford means first on race day, and to others, found on road dead. But to GM and Chrysler, Ford stands for fucking organization reached a deal. Yet another co-defendant has pled guilty in the Trump, Georgia voter fraud case. So to date, Georgia DA Fonnie Willis has flipped Scott Hall, Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesbrough, and Jenna Ellis. Willis is flipping defendants like Aunt Jemima flip pancakes. It's okay. Wow. I can say it.
Jesus Christ.
After Roundtree, who broke barriers and achieved international stardom as the titular character in the Shaft film franchise, died Tuesday, October 24th, after a brief battle with pancreatic cancer. He was 81 years old, and he was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post. Next month, the National Aquarium in Baltimore, Maryland, will start building Harbor Wetland, a group of man-made wetland islands designed to attract native species like night herons, American eels, eastern oysters, blue crabs, and UFBs, unidentified floating bodies. Blue crabs got to eat something. I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist.
I don't know.
Now with new joke technology.
I don't know.
Thank you for watching Critical Joke Theory.
No.
Be safe out there, and don't feed the crazy.
Oh.
And don't feed the crazies.
What happened there?
I don't know. We'll fix
Critical Joke Theory with your host.
Wait.
Certified forensic.
That's great. That's good. Good job, GD.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that was pretty good. That brings to mind who's our comedian that's funnier than Tom Segura today?
Well, I was going to get to that just about now. I don't know. I don't see. I'm losing track because I'm old. I don't remember who I've said so far, so I don't remember.
Yeah,
But,
because you said me the first day that you even brought up the bit, you listed me in the names.
yeah,
and
no, but
then you named me again. I
before we
really
were doing
appreciate that.
That was before we were doing AIDS every day. I hadn't thought that I was going to be doing it every day at that point.
Right. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true. Comedians who
I'm so
are
glad we got
funnier
this.
than Segura.
Although it is a large number.
You're a bum. Get out of town. I guess today's comedian who is funnier than Tom Segura should be the one and only Peter Bales. He's not here to know that he's actually being honored as funnier than Tom Segura.
We can bring it up again.
Yeah, well, we could play it again for him and let him know that he's today's honoree as funnier than Tom Segura. But I was thinking, who isn't funnier than Tom Segura? There really are very few people who are not funnier than Tom Segura at this point. And I just want to explain, because some people think I'm upset with Tom Segura because he's rich and famous and talks about how all the money and the cars and the watches. And I'm good for him. I'm glad for the stuff he's got. He deserves all the stuff he's got. What I don't like is when people tell him that he's gotten emails from people, and this is what started this whole thing. People who he said, when you gloat about all the riches and stuff that you have, it makes us feel bad. Well, I'm a hardworking guy working week to week to pay the rent, and then he feels like he needs to punch down on that person and call him a loser and say you'll always be a loser and you deserve to be a loser because you think like a loser. And to me, that's punching down. That's beating up on people who are less fortunate, and there's no reason for that. Again, I appreciate and respect everything that the guy has achieved, and I don't say he doesn't deserve them, and he's got a right to talk about them. Because GD brought up yesterday, you are, and this is something Tom Segura says all the time, you are in charge of your own feelings and reactions and your emotions and all that stuff.
Yes.
I agree with that 100%. So
Yes.
people who are writing to him with hate mail saying, you're making us feel bad. Well, that's on you. That definitely is on you.
Right.
But at the same token, you don't use that as a catalyst to start beating up on every poor person. When you start calling about the poors and the poors suck and we need to get rid of them, we need to kill the homeless people and all that kind of stuff, that's taking it way too fucking far. So, fuck Tom Segura.
But, okay, so, I mean, okay.
I
Yes.
couldn't say it better myself.
You just muted yourself.
I couldn't have said that better.
You muted yourself.
Damn it, man! How
in the middle of a sentence you mute yourself?
I don't know how that's. I did not mute myself. I did not do that.
You did.
I swear to God.
I'm bringing Jackie in right now because.
Okay. Well, yeah.
We're going to listen to what you had to say about Tom Segura, but then you muted yourself about it. So Jackie probably doesn't even. This is the thing. Jackie doesn't know who Tom Segura is, despite the fact that he's been in a conversation with Bert Kreischer about Tom Segura.
Yeah, but he didn't know really who Bert was before he met him either, which was interesting. He did that so they could have a natural conversation.
And that's what I respect about GD, by the way, that he doesn't know Tom Segura. Anyway, good morning, Jackie. And
I just want to say that you guys are all losers, and I'm so much better than you, and I have no idea. I have no idea why I'm here. I am rich, and you guys are still working, and I'm embarrassed to be here.
I'm not working.
Of course, that's a lie. I'm as broke as the Ten Commandments. I do know who Tom Segura is because I know now that he does a podcast with Bert Kreischer, who is so damn good to me, and I look forward to meeting the guy. But I haven't done any research, so and all of a sudden you guys are saying that, you know what? I'm not going to form any opinion until I listen. I can't believe that. I haven't even dived in and looked at Bert's stand-up or his other podcasts.
Am I like really lagging behind or something? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, probably.
Well, it
You
is
mean in
New
life
Mexico.
or on the podcast?
Because
No, it has
like,
nothing to do with the streaming. It's between his ears. The lag is between this ear and this ear.
And New Mexico still has to
there's
catch up with the rest of the country.
You
it's
want to
not
go?
a that's not a lag. It's just bogged down by resin.
You want to leave
Good
and come
morning.
back?
Good morning,
Sure,
Rev. I'd like
yeah.
to say hello. Obviously, my friends have no class, and they think that I don't exist and you don't exist. But it's nice to meet you, whoever you are.
Pleasure to meet
Oh,
you. The Matt guy, the coffee guy, he did try to
What does that
introduce
mean?
us, but we were cross talking, and we ignored him as usual.
Oh, well,
it is a
that's our
pleasure to
job.
meet you. I've actually been a listener of yours since you were a small child with the former god known as Howard Stern.
Wow. So it's nice to meet you. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Hey, did you see? You know Mad Dog, right? Mad Dog Russo.
Are you talking to me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I know who he is. I think I met him briefly. He was a two-man team for years, right?
Right. Him, Mike and the Mad Dog, and Imus made them. Now, made them what they were. He put them together as a team and was responsible for their success on FAN. Then, like Stern, Mad Dog went to Sirius, but unlike Stern, nobody followed him there. So he was a millionaire at FAN and he went to Sirius. He's been there this whole time. A couple of days ago, he said if the Diamondbacks won the series, he was going to retire on the spot. And the Diamondbacks won, and he's in a pickle now because he doesn't want to retire. So he called Stern yesterday and asked Stern to bail him out, give him some ideas on how he could save his career and not have to retire. And of course, Stern went to what Stern does. He says, "I want you to put on a bikini and walk down, Fifth Avenue with a sign that says I'm a douche, and people will forget about all that stuff." So he's got him doing that. But I found it interesting that this guy
Whoa. He did it or he's going to do it?
He's going to do it.
Jesus.
Do what?
Walk down Fifth Avenue with a sign saying I'm a douche wearing a bikini. That's what
Who's going to do that?
I don't think you should make Will do that.
No.
Oh. Listen, I would. I totally would. Listen, in those kind of ways, I'm impossible to embarrass. Like I could literally do about anything. Matter of fact,
Matt, do you see how crazy this is what happens if somebody's listened to a radio show or a podcast and they get up to take a leak? All you got to do is miss 1 minute. And he has no idea what you're talking about. And it's just so funny. It's just like a chunk out of the conversation. So all of a sudden it's on him, and he thinks he's supposed to walk down Fifth Avenue, and you pulled in this non sequitur of Mad Dog, and the Reverend and me are sitting there scratching our nuts, saying, "What the hell is going on?" That's why it's a good show.
Just for the record, not each other's nuts, our own. Own.
Yes.
I could do it. Watch. There you go, Jackie. How you like that?
Wow.
I've been doing it since I got on the air. So.
Well, to be absolutely perfectly honest, if Will was here for the whole conversation, he'd still be in the dark. So.
Yeah, because I got problems. But yeah.
All right. Now, as everybody knows, I went to see you at the McGuire's last week. McGuire's exceptionally good comedy club experience. The question I have for you.
There's such a great sound system and such. Yeah. It's small, but to me, that and the Brokerage are really the perfect clubs.
I was going to say it's second small, best to the Brokerage. That Brokerage is still my favorite, but McGuire's is a close second to that. Absolutely. Question I have for you: because you rapid fire jokes, do you plan those jokes out, or do you just go up and spur in the moment, on the stage, in the moment, whatever joke pops into your head at that moment?
I know exactly what I'm going to do. Could I go up there and just go for an hour without any plan? Of course I could, just like standing at the bar. Because when you start a joke, you already know in your head the next one you want to say. Or if I'm talking to 5 guys, all of a sudden I've got a list of 10 jokes in my head that I want to fire back. But I absolutely have an act. Because I have 6 comedy albums, and they're all 80 minutes long. And there's not a repeated joke. There's like 500 hours or some crazy amount. Or 5 hours, of crazy jokes. But what I did was took the best of the best of the best and made an act. So I basically, you came and saw me on Friday, and then came on Saturday you might see the exact same act word for word.
Wow.
But you might see one completely wacky. You know, I'm a fan of analogies, and I don't know if this is boring, but people that are into this, because I get asked the same question. People say, how do you remember all those jokes? And I say, if you leave Bayville and drive to Manhattan, how do you remember how to pass all those exits? It's because they're along the way. So I'm driving from Bayville to Manhattan, and I'm just going one by one, the joke after joke. But at any point, I can get off at any exit and go wherever I want. I can jump off at a joke and go to 2 others, 12 others. I can do another 10 minutes of random jokes, but then I can come back in at the exit I got off on. Or if I know I've eaten up too much time, I can come in, instead of getting back in at Great Neck, I can get back in at the Cross Island Parkway. And it sounds ridiculous, but for the most
that's a good
part,
analogy.
it's all planned out because they're the best jokes. You know, rather than stand there and go, what would be the very best? What would be? I already know what's going to be the best theoretically. You know, and it's always going to be hit and miss. You know, if you watch the exact act of 2 nights in a row, the ones that are grand slams aren't necessarily ones that are the grand slams the next night. But it's also due to the ebb and flow. People are roaring at a joke. Sometimes they just don't have it to laugh that hard at the next one. Not to be pompous, but I'm serious, you know. And sometimes they miss a little bit because they're still, you know, it's interesting. It's always interesting to me.
For a little room, they were very loud when towards the end when you know one more that when you did the last 5 jokes, they were there was like a football stadium mentality in the room.
You don't mean loud rude. You mean loud laughing at the.
Yes,
you know.
yes, yeah.
Oh, they were. Really
they didn't want the show to end.
No, I know that
I think I was up there over an hour, and they were still ready to go. You know.
Yeah.
I have a friend who. I have a friend who's a comedian, a guy named G.D. Penderson, and when his show is going long, to make it, you know, to keep it shorter, he just tells the setups and leaves off the punchlines. That way, he can just shorten the show.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I wanted to bring that up with Jackie. Because earlier in the week on Facebook, I posted something about people over 40 generally are dissatisfied with stand-up comedy these days. Because I asked people to go to see a show with me, and they're like, comedy clubs, I don't. Most of those comics aren't funny. And somebody posted today, it's a bit, it's an epidemic that storytellers will go up there and not have any punchlines to their stories.
You know what? I think it's actually. I think they think it's a little too unhip to wind it up with a big laugh, with a joke, which to me completely. I mean, I'm just guessing at that because I've heard the same thing from people.
Right.
We go to these clubs and nobody's funny, and that makes it tough for the person that's working the next night because, like you said, that people are like, am I wasting my, you know, you're hanging waiting for somebody to cross the T and dot the I, and then they're on to the next thing. Like, what was that? You know.
Right.
But
what I wanted to ask you, because Will is too young to remember this, Rev might, Flip Wilson albums. Flip Wilson used to tell stories that sometimes had no punchlines and sometimes had the weakest punchlines, but I thought they were hysterical. The way he told the story was hysterical all the way through, and it didn't bother me that the end of it was kind of like anticlimactic or not funny at all.
Well, like anything, if you're that good a third baseman, it doesn't really matter that you're batting 250. You know what I mean? He was so good at being so likable and telling stories that he could get away with it. But if you're up there telling a mediocre story and it's got no end, it's like, you know, go home. You know, if that's what you're talking about, right? You got to. You got to.
Do you know the dog died story? Flip Wilson's dog died.
I don't remember specifically, but I know
it's just a long, and it has no punchline at all. It's like a businessman comes home and he sees his gardener watering the lawn. He says, "Hey, Charlie, what's going on?" He says, "Ain't nothing going on except the dog died." He said, "Dog died? How'd the dog die?" "Well, he found some dead horse."
This is my mother's favorite joke.
Right, but it's got no punchline whatsoever. It just keeps building. Well, he found some dead horse meat in the barn. He ate it and died. Dead horse meat in the barn. How did dead horse meat get in the barn? Well, the barn was on fire, burned the barn, and the horse and the dog and the meat and died. And it just keeps going on and on. But there's never.
Why was the barn on fire? Well, the house was on fire, and then the barn.
Yeah, the sparks from the roof. See, the roof of the house was burning. The sparks flew over the barn, burned the barn, and the horse and the dog ate the meat and died. And it just, but he ends it by saying, "Other than that, nothing's happening."
Other than that, nothing's happening. That's a great punchline. That's a wonderful punchline.
That's the classic. Aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you enjoy the play?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Now,
Jesus.
you weren't really telling. My mother's favorite joke was a guy has a cat, and it's his whole life. He's a single guy, and his cat is his whole life. And he gets called to Europe on a business deal, and he's got to go for a couple weeks. And he's freaking out, and he tells his brother, "You got to come over and take care of my cat. But listen, it's my prize. She's my baby, so take good care. Take good care. Relax. I'll take care of the cat." So he goes to Europe, and 2 days after he gets there, he calls home, and he says, "How's the cat?" And his brother says, "The cat's dead." He says, "The cat's dead? How could you? That was my baby. How could you do it? Couldn't you be nicer? Couldn't you be more gentle and break? Couldn't you say like?" The cat wound up on the roof, and I called the fire department, and they came, and they went up and tried to get the cat, but she was just out of reach, and then the cat slipped and fell and landed on the ground and hit really hard, and they tried to revive her, but they just couldn't revive her, and the cat passed away, and his brother's like, all right. And he says, "How's Ma?" And his brother says, "Ma's on the roof."
Oh my God! Oh my God!
That was my mother's favorite joke.
That's a great one.
That gives you an idea what she's just classic. Ma's on the roof. And that's the same thing. Aside from that,
Yeah,
wow, that's great.
And that goes into what Dr. Conway, Professor Conway, was trying to explain to the audience about your encyclopedic memory of jokes is, and how premises and punchlines can be. It's the same joke, just told a different way in a lot of ways. I don't know. He was talking about it yesterday. It made a little bit of sense as far as what Will says makes sense. That made some sense.
I am still trying to digest Professor Conway.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Yeah, no. I think
I called him Dr. Conway yesterday. Which,
oh my God.
I made up my mind today. I am sick of trying to deal with the clubs, and we're going to cancel you, and we're not going to cancel you, because sometimes, it's the same thing. Every September people don't show up. In January people, and the economy. So I am going to finally create the definitive jokes play. I'll start off Broadway, and I don't know where I'm at, but I'm finally going to do that because I'm sick of, like that show at McGuire's. Like, I think that was like a classic hour. Those people, I know it sounds pompous, Matt, but those people really couldn't have laughed harder than that for an hour.
Right.
Or am I crazy?
No.
Laugh. And it's not hip. It's not cool. What I'm doing is just as hokey or hacky or whatever you call it.
Right.
But
it's an art form.
If by definition, if our job is first and foremost to make people laugh, that's what I'm doing. You can go all the way around and doing this and I'm doing that and I'm hip and I'm cool and blah, blah, blah. But if they're laughing hard, my favorite thing in the world was when a 75-year-old woman comes up and says, "That's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life." That is, to me, that's the best part. As hey, you were really cool, man. You were really neat. Really, I really understand that whole thing about, with your girlfriend. And fuck you. You just want to laugh, especially now.
I don't think maybe it's from where I was sitting, but I didn't. It seemed like a pretty young audience. Like it wasn't older people. It was people 35 to 50 kind of range, I guess.
Right at the sweet spot. They were listening to the Stern Show at a sweet spot in their lives, but then over the years they follow enough that when they bother taking a look and they laugh and they say, hey, every time we see this guy, unless it's Howard berating him and making up some kind of crazy thing about him, if they just see me making them laugh, they say, wait a minute, he seems to get laughs pretty often. And then they come out. Did you know, number one, why do you sit, you couldn't have been any further than the stage if you had stayed home. He was back against the wall, it was like he was in the mob and he was scared somebody was
Exactly.
shoot him.
I wanted to put that impression so if anybody looked at me like, oh, what is this guy here to hit back?
And here's a table with this mat sitting at, and there's two tables next to him. And I said, well, there's a guy sitting with all his friends. It's pretty sad. But did you know there was a guy there from Denmark? Did you know that?
I think
there was a guy that waited. He waited till his son was old enough, and he came to Denmark with his son to come to the brokerage. I mean, he visited New York, but that was the pinpoint of his thing. And Klaus Holm. It even sounds like he's from Denmark.
I heard Peter mention that, asking when he was doing the little crowd work. The guy said he was, but and again, not to blow your ego up, but earlier in the day, I got a email from Governors, and they were giving seats away at both brokerage and Governors, free tickets because the rooms weren't sold out, and they were young national headliners, people who are like kind of hip in the scene right now, and neither of them were selling out tickets. And your place, except for me and all the way in the back, every other table was completely full. So, and they weren't giving away your tickets.
I love that because thank you. When I show up there, I never know. You never know nowadays. You walk in if there's going to be 4 people. Or a full house, there's really no, and I never called to find out. It's funny, somebody came and they said, I saw you years ago at Jimmy's Comedy Alley. And this was a place that originally was a bowling alley in Bayside. And then it was a comedy club for years and years and years. But it was right in the middle of Bayside. And I remember so distinctly, if I went to a gig there and couldn't get a parking spot, I knew I had to kill a show. It was coming up. But if I pulled up and I found a place to park, I'm like, oh crap, it's going to be empty. That's it's like how far? If you have to park far from the club, it's a happy walking all the way to the club because they're inside.
Willie, are you outdoors?
I am.
Is that planes flying over?
Oh my God, there might be. I'm sorry, I probably don't hear it because of my.
Every day you hear because
I got
headphones. How do you not hear that?
Because I have the headphones. Like if I take my, I hear I hear a dog barking.
So you got choppers and dogs.
I'm also almost deaf. Do you? I should dig up the picture of my last audiogram, which was a couple of years ago, and I know I'm more deaf than that now. But like how deaf I am, you'd be shocked about how deaf I am.
Yeah, my audiologist can't figure out if I'm deaf or retarded. And could be both. But he plays the tune.
The stupid ear doctor, and then you get done in a couple of years. I pay no attention. Now I just go so he can take the huge hunks of crap out of my ear. But I'd go and he'd say, "Oh well, Jack, I think it's about time for a hearing aid." And I'm like, "You dumbass! Every time you said the point when there's a sound, I pointed every time." And then it just dawned on me on the way home. Of course, there were sounds going off that I didn't hear, so that's why I wasn't pointing. Finally, hit something and go like this, and go like this. I heard everyone. No, you didn't, you moron.
No, you didn't. Yeah, not even close.
I don't hear any of them. My hearing is so bad. Like I have told that story a lot of times. Back when there were rotary phones, and this is going back 35 years ago. I'm sitting there with the phone on my chest, and it's ringing, and I didn't know it. And my girlfriend.
How do you not feel vibration?
I probably had it on a pillow or something. But
hey, do you watch TV? Do you watch TV with the subtitles on?
I do.
Yeah, all the time.
I constantly watch with the subtitle in. But I'll be watching a show on Apple TV or one of those cable things. And I'll be watching, and it'll say in parentheses, siren. And I'm like, what siren? Like, I can't. So I know I'm in
God
trouble,
forbid
you know,
they fuck it up. Like YouTube fucks up the captions all the time, and then now I'm totally lost because they got the words completely wrong, and now I'm you're looking for one thing that not even in the subject at all. I'm rolling a joint.
Right,
In case
or
anybody...
they'll have the wrong thing. So while you're trying to figure out what it was,
Right.
you miss the next couple. You know.
Yeah.
See, I don't
up.
have
What a
those
world.
problems. My hearing is so good that when they told my wife, she goes, "So why the fuck don't he hear me then?" And I'm like, because we're married. Like,
Right.
Damn it.
I do have kind of a selective tune out where I can, and it's not that I don't really hear it. It's that I'm not really I'm not focusing on what you're saying, and people think I'm just being cold or just dismissive. I have a tunnel vision mind. So if I'm having a conversation with you,
you're thinking about something else, and somebody says, "Hey, Matt, do you want me to pick up something at the store?" You don't hear that because you're talking to me. You know, and they're like,
sometimes
or you're
even
reading
I'm talking to you,
something.
but somebody's having a conversation over there, and they're distracting me so much that my ear goes to them, and I'm listening to their conversation, and I can't hear what you're fucking saying. It goes right over my head.
I had to explain to my wife that I was raised by an abusive mother, an alcoholic, a part-time alcoholic, and so I could listen. I could tell by the way my mother's foot hit the sidewalk what kind of trouble I was going to be in when she walked through the door.
Yeah.
So I have learned to listen to the faraway threat. So if we're in the room together, you're not a threat. I know what you're doing. I'm listening to see if my mother's coming down the hall. You know, that's what my wife doesn't understand. Is sometimes I'm listening for the threat. I'm not listening I don't care.
So you're hearing the pound of her heel. The harder her heel hits on the cement or whatever, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. And
my dad was the same way.
The way the door handle jiggled, be like, oh Lord have mercy, hide the lamp. She's gonna hit me with the lamp. Yeah. That's the lamp jiggle. That's the lamp jiggle. Oh Lord. I can tell by the drag, the way that foot drag. Oh my God, she's gonna hit me with the cat again. The way I can tell.
My father drank. And as the years progressed, he drank more and more, and I got I was worse and worse. And so by the middle and end of high school, and I'd come home, and he was mad. It's funny now, and in fact, it was funny then because he'd be pissed off, and he'd go to take off his belt, but when he was drunk, it took him so long to take off his belt. He's fumbling. I'm just laughing my ass off, like, oh God. It's not funny,
that makes the beating worse.
Yeah, no, like that led to a worse beating. Like if my dad didn't get it on the first couple jerks, you were gonna get beat. But one time,
that sounds so sexual.
One of the best times ever though is that he was having struggle jerking around, and when he finally got it, like I was a few steps away, and he went to come towards me. His pants fell down. He tripped and fell on his face. Right now, remember, he's super fucking drunk too. And my mom just stood over him like, do you really think you need to keep doing this? Like just pants around his ankles, fucking whitey tighties, barely on.
I'm sure that is way too dark, but that is a very, very funny scene for a movie.
Right. Yeah.
But it's hitting somebody with a belt, But that's that belongs in somebody's one man show.
Yeah.
He takes off his belt and then falls over like, oh God, that's
But in Hollywood,
it's amazing you start talking about this. Everybody's parents were drunk, Everybody, all the time,
Especially back then, yeah.
Him waking up and still wanting to beat him, In Hollywood,
Sabella says it looks like you're in a prison yard.
Yeah, it does kind of.
You say to one guy like, Harry, I guess you skated, Harry, huh? Your father never hit you with a belt. He said, well, no, he left when I was 2. There's no escaping,
Yesterday at the VA, somebody asked me to play A Boy Named Sue. And I was like,
oh, nice.
I can't. Even if I knew all the words, you can't play.
I didn't I post it? I thought I posted one. Didn't I post one? I thought I posted one.
Matt's frozen. It's up to us to unscreen.
StreamYard. Wow.
Dang it.
That was weird. StreamYard has been fucking up lately. I think I might have to change the reset.
No,
Anyway,
maybe they just don't like that song. Hey, I insist that you plug my gig.
I am. It's going across the bottom there. I was going to ask you about
Sweetwater
that next.
Marina.
8 p.m. Friday, November 10th, Sweetwater Marina, Sweetwater, New Jersey. Now, what the hell for? And go to jokeland.com for.
You go so far. You go so far in Jersey, and then you make a right, and you go even further, and then you come to this place, but it's the most delightful place and the greatest audiences in the world. But it's, just like every gig in Jersey, I have the directions and I drive there, but I never know where I am. The only thing I know is it's south. All those years of doing comedy, you'd go over to George Washington Bridge and you go to the right or you go straight or go left.
I think you make a
knew where the
left.
hell I was,
Because if you make a right, you're not going to be at the marina. You're going to be inland. The marina suggests it's on the water somewhere. So.
But I don't. But it's on. I don't know what body. I think it's a lake, though. That's you're not on the ocean.
Could be.
All I know is it's a great, great place, and it's really. And me and Bales are working together, which is really fun. We have a good time, me and him.
I hear Peter Bales is funnier than Tom Segura. I hear that.
Yes, that.
Now I didn't join in with this Tom Segura thing because I haven't met him yet, and I don't want to have a predisposed thing about him, especially if he's friends with Bert, because I don't even really know Bert yet. But don't they do a podcast together?
They do a podcast together called Two Bears in One Cave. Although there has been friction lately.
Yeah,
there has been some friction.
Yeah,
because Tom Segura didn't go to the premiere of The Machine. Bert Kreischer did a movie called The Machine about his Russia story, and Tom Segura technically was available to go and just didn't go, but he did just come off of like a 40-day European tour. Like he had just gotten home after like a month. And
now, see, I'm so out of it. So, is he a big name? How do I not know any of this?
Yeah, they're like two of the biggest names in comedy right now.
Except for Rev, never heard of him. GD, never heard of him. And that's the thing. Comedy is not like rock stars. Like Taylor Swift, whether you care about music or not, you know who Taylor Swift is. Right. Comedians can be that big or on the top of their game. I know people who don't know who Sebastian Maniscalco is. I know people who don't know Bill Burr is. If you're not fans of comedy, you don't know the big stars.
Sure. Or even like Tony Hinchcliffe, he's doing arena shows now, and there's probably plenty of people that still don't know about him or his show or any of that.
I bet you Rev and Jackie don't know Tony Hinchcliffe.
I know who Sebastian Maniscalco is, and the guy from 30 years ago. Who was the first guy that made it big with the bus and with the internet? I never can remember that guy's name.
Which bus?
Willie Nelson?
No, traveling the bus. The comic.
Ron White, not Ron White.
No. What see, I didn't know, but Bill Burr. But I guess I know of him because I'm good friends with the guys in Boston. But if you're not in the loop, you're not really in the loop. And I'll never understand. And I know these guys are great and they deserve every penny, but I will never understand going to an arena to see comedy. I just don't get that.
Yeah, no.
It's
Joe List was talking about
made for that.
Yeah. Joe List was talking about that on one of the things, one of his most recent. He does a lot of specials from the Comedy Cellar. He did one from Grove 34, which is really small. And he said, I'm used to what I'm used to, and I know I'm good in those venues. I don't think I would be good in theaters, and I don't think it would be a good special to watch me try to play to an audience that I can't see and is that far away. And
you can do it. You can do a theater, but if something that big, the timing and the feel and the feedback from the audience, that's so important.
Right.
The timing and the laughs, People, no, when you do an arena, you just throw it out there and you got to wait for it to come back. I'm like, well, that's not comedy, I might as well be leading a, Rev, we might as well get out there and do spirituals, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Of course, if I could sell out an arena, I'd change my tune.
Yeah, how much money? I mean, because you think about comedy clubs, and if you sell out a 400-room comedy club, you're going to be doing very well on that night. But an arena with 50 or 60,000 people, what's the payday on something like that? Seriously, I mean, I can't even imagine if I try to,
Yeah, but I mean,
no,
I mean, you're
is
probably.
it 10 grand? Is it 70 grand? You know, but you're talking about
I think it's
crazy
upwards of
overhead.
70. Yeah.
You know, it's incredible. You know.
Yeah. So when Sebastian sold out 4 nights in a row at Madison Square Garden, they had to add another night. That's insane. I mean, Madison, for one guy, it's not like he needs a whole road crew or all that equipment moving like a rock band. So the amount of money has got to be insane, and it's got to be hard to stop. And I was thinking
Who
about
knew there
that.
were that many comedy fans? You know, like, that's a lot of people.
Well,
you're talking about Madison Square Garden, right? You're not talking about the theater at Madison
right?
Square
Yeah,
Garden, which is 1/10. You know, you're talking about
the arena. Yeah,
the Billy Joel room. You know,
right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I still try and think of who was the name of the guy who became the first big guy that got big from the internet that wasn't known, and all of a sudden
Dane Cook, you mean?
Dane Cook. And I know a lot of comics, including me. I said, I got to find out what's going on. I went and bought his CD, and I listened to it, and I'm like, I felt it made me feel so old and out of it because I just didn't get it. I didn't know.
Well, yeah. And if you listen, so I've watched some of his interviews, and he really attributes his success to he was very interactive with his fan base on social media.
He was the first guy to do it all that way, and God bless him. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, MySpace was his thing, and he was the first guy to use MySpace for that. But
I mean, he used it in a meeting. Like he put like a post out and like got thousands of responses in like 2 minutes, like 90 seconds or something like that. And they were just like, yeah, okay. They were like, okay, like if you're getting attention like that, we could do something with you.
I think that might be my problem because I'm still on MySpace.
Oh my God. That probably is part of the problem. I'm not going to lie.
At this point, it really is MySpace because I'm the only one in the space.
Yeah, you're the only fucker on it. Yeah, nobody else is seeing that shit, bro. I'm surprised the server still functions.
You know the story with Dane Cook, though. I mean, his brother stole.
Oh man, yeah.
He woke up he said he woke up in a cold sweat from a nightmare, thinking, I think my brother might be robbing me, and then checked all his bank accounts, and it basically
and he sure was
emptied out.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he got super took by his brother.
He sent his brother to jail for it. I mean, he stole all his money.
Yeah. See, now I have a similar issue. There are other comedians stealing all my fans, and I woke up and I said, honey, I don't think I have any fans. I think that fucking Willie and Jackie stealing all my fans.
Oh, no.
I said, I'm going to be on the radio with them. I'm going to be talking to them on Friday. I'm going to ask them what the hell's going on.
At least Gallagher's brother just took his act. He didn't take his money. He just took his act.
Really?
You know, Gallagher, he sold his act to his brother.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Got it back. Oh, that's all. I hope my memory is right. Yeah, he wanted to get out, so he sold his brother, who kind of looked like him, his act, and his brother did his act, and people go to see Gallagher. It wasn't Gallagher. I'm like, how many ways can you throw a watermelon? What's the difference? You know. But
well, I mean, Gallagher
was so witty and funny, you know.
Yeah, Gallagher actually had good stand-up, like really good stand-up in my opinion. Like I enjoyed his stand-up more. I didn't really like all the smashing stuff.
Right.
That was what got people there. You know, that's why I get naked at the end of my shows. By getting naked at the end of the show, you know, word gets around. People come out to see this body, and then they hear the jokes. You know.
Listen, I mean, you got to respect an artist that bears it all.
Well, all kidding
That's
aside,
why Matt was sitting all the way in the back. He didn't want to be up front for that.
I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out before the fans started coming out and asking for autographs, so I would make sure I was like one of the first people out. But when I went to leave, I thought I was going to be the first person out, and there's this hot young girl like with her arms all around Jackie wanting to take a picture. What the hell was that all about?
You know what? I don't know who that was, and I was getting my stuff out, and she was so sweet and so cute. And then all of a sudden the night's over, and I'm like, why didn't I ask her who she was? Probably came out before her husband or her date or something, but she disappeared. And I'm like, I would have loved to know who the hell she was, because somebody like that has 20 friends and say, please tell your friends to come out and try a show. You always think of your act. Not to mention, she was about what, Matt? Like 35? She was adorable.
Yeah, what I would call young, a kid.
Yeah, but she was waiting. When I came off and came back, she was standing there already. Like,
I know, like you were Jimmy Page just came off stage at Madison Square Garden in 1976, and she was like waiting for like a groupie waiting there for you.
Yeah, and I'm probably making like, well, this happens all the time, and meanwhile, I can't remember the last time that happened.
Yeah.
So wherever she is, call us.
So that's
call me. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now this place in Sweetwater is it? It's an indoor place, right? It's not it's on a marina.
Yeah. It's called the Sweetwater Marina, but it's it's a enclave. It's like a bunch of different rooms, and they set it up great, and they have a great sound system, and they just love they're water people. Active people, the best laughers. They're doers. You know what I mean?
We have the boat people that are followers of the band, and they bring every gig we do. They bring at least like 70 to 100 people.
Right.
The boat
and
people.
They drink a lot. They drink a lot, but they're a good audience.
Right.
They don't drink a lot and start fights. They drink a lot and laugh a lot, which is great. I've worked there maybe I think 5 years or 6 years in a row, with 2 years off for that goddamn pandemic, it's still wreaking havoc on comedy as far as I'm concerned.
And society in general. It fucked up so much that time, that thing that we went through, people's minds and attitudes. And I blame a lot of the craziness and fighting and all the shit that we're seeing on
people
that.
don't know how to act around each other no more.
Yeah.
Anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I knew he was going to fucking correct you on that, because he corrected me.
Because I said
he corrected me on the spelling of monogram. They asked for monogram handkerchiefs at the gig, at his gig, or tablecloths or something, and I spelled it wrong, and he fucking corrected me on that. So.
Yeah, I tell people all the time I speak 2 languages, English and bad English, for real.
You go to Palm Springs in December, on December 8th, right?
Palm Beach.
Palm Beach, not Palm Springs.
West Palm Beach, the Palm Beach Kennel Club, which was a dog track until I guess about 20 years ago. They, I don't know at what point they outlawed, the dog chasing the rabbit, and the dogs would die, and and then they'd eat them. I don't know what happened, but they outlawed the dog racing. But they had this beautiful track, and they just made it. Now it's like a betting place, but they have a fantastic. Thank you, sweetie. They have a fantastic. My girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend Barbara Klein, just brought me a coffee, so I wouldn't have to get up and miss anything, because I saw what it did to Will.
I know.
So what?
I'm just curious. Do you, when your girlfriend shows up, do you always say, "This is my girlfriend Barbara Klein"? Or you can't is that like the full introduction?
No,
I usually do that. For years I'd say, "This is my girlfriend Barbara Klein, not a Jew." I do that.
I wonder if that's where Adam Sandler got that from. He has that in one of his Hanukkah songs. When he says O.J. Simpson, he goes, "O.J. Simpson, not a Jew, but guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted."
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No, I know he's got that in there, but did Rod Carew really convert? I don't know.
I mean, and I would imagine so. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't.
I didn't know I was stealing from Adam Sandler, so I apologize.
No,
Maybe
I bet you Adam Sandler probably picked it up from you. Is what I'm saying.
Do you know my Adam Sandler story, Matt? Did I tell you that?
No.
No,
I would love to hear your Adam Sandler
I
story.
remember every, there's so many, I did, shows at big theaters in Chicago and Denver, and you just don't remember them because they're kind of the same. You half kill and half don't because it's such a big place. And the Stern Show, guys and girls, you get a lot of times kind of rowdy. It was so much fun, but you remember all the dirt bomb gigs from way early. Because I used to book them. I'd get a bar and I'd get them to let me have a show, and they give me like $250, and I'd pay the comedians $50 each, and I'd take the leftover 100 or 100, whatever it was. But I did them all over. And along the way, over the years, I met everybody. And at a big party for Grown Ups 2. Remember Grown Ups, that movie?
Oh, yeah.
It was Grown Ups 2. So PJ Clark had a big party, and my friend Richie Minervini was in the movie. But it was Kevin James and Chris Rock and David Spade and somebody. But I knew them all. I knew everybody except Adam Sandler. He's the only one I hadn't met yet. And so I go to the party, and I walked up and said, Adam, he says, hey, Jackie, how you doing? I says, nice to meet you. I can't believe all these years I never met you. He said, I worked one of your gigs at a bar room in the early 80s. And I was so, he had to be so bad because I remember everybody and every gig. And of all the ones not to remember, I didn't remember the one that Adam Sandler did. I felt like such an idiot.
Well, your pal Bert had the most embarrassing moment of his life. He had Adam Sandler on. He was drunk and he was kissing his ass. He was hanging out with Bert was hanging out with Whitney Cummings, and Adam Sandler was not having any of his shit. He was like condescending to him because he could tell that Bert really didn't know what he was talking about, and Bert was just kissing his ass. He was like starstruck, and it was. I think Bert would tell you it's the worst moment of his professional life is when.
Is this a year ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah,
years
about
ago?
a year ago. About a year ago, yeah. And it was a big thing. I mean, he's still everywhere. Every time he's on somebody else's, Bert, every time he's on somebody else's podcast, somebody brings it up, and he doesn't want to talk about it because it just embarrassed the hell out of him. Speaking of embarrassing the hell out of people, our next guest is here. Peter Bales is best remembered for being on I Dream of Jeannie, although he was never on the show. He has appeared on stand-up as a stand-up comedian at countless comedy clubs, corporate functions, colleges across the country, and has appeared on a variety of television networks, including Fox, A&E, Comedy Central, Lifetime, MTV, VH1, and most recently, the New Rascals Comedy Hour podcast for XM Satellite Radio. He also co-hosts a podcast with that guy, Jackie Martin, called Stand Up Memories, and you can find it at standupmemories.com. Welcome, Peter Bales.
Who the hell is Tom Segura? Who the hell is he? Quick, I gotta go on this show.
Where's he at?
Who is he?
There he is.
No, I'm kidding. I know who he's a big podcaster who gets big numbers. I get that. Thank you. I'm honored, gentlemen, to be mentioned with him and on this podcast.
Funnier than him, actually. We are.
Thank you.
We honor you as. But there's really only one person who's not funnier. He's upset. He's upset. Look, at least he has nothing to break today.
No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not upset. But GD is probably breaking something right now.
Yeah, I think the Rev has been selected already. Is it? I'm pretty sure the Reverend Jelly Roll was selected.
No, but then again, I'm not a comedian. I am a minister. I'm a man of the. I'm a man of the Lord. So
that's
I don't
true.
Do funny. I don't do funny.
All right.
Good.
Peter, tell me something. You're a teacher. Do your students know you're a comic?
They sometimes figure it out by the end of the semester. I don't talk about it, believe me.
I would
think
that's
because by the end of the semester, he eventually gets a laugh.
Right.
And that's when they put it in.
See, that's the chemistry that we have. Is Jackie does a joke that's not very funny, and I cover for him.
Ah, very good.
And it works.
It does. It works very, very well.
A brick wall, really? A brick wall?
This is a real. Hey, Jackie, this is real brick. It's really brick. That it's real brick.
I don't know what kind of background I want here. That's a little weird.
This is the original brick background that they had at the Improv, 44th and 9th in Manhattan. And the reason you have the brick backdrop at a comedy club, ideally, is you don't want any attention on anything except the. That's the philosophy behind the brick back then.
It works, I guess.
I
But
remember Nitwit's Comedy Club back in the day had like a multicolored. It looked like a multicolored quilt that your grandma made as the backdrop of their stage at Nitwit's Comedy Club in Sioux Falls. Maybe that's why they went out of business. Now that I think
No,
about
actually, you were high. That's why you saw that. It was just a brick wall.
it.
Colored quilt was in your mind from the mushrooms that you took.
That's probably true.
I would think
true.
you try to keep the comedy thing hidden from students, though.
I do. Well, it's not. They don't figure it out, and I keep those lives separate because behind the brick wall there is a whiteboard where I can teach the causes of the Civil War.
Wow.
This is one life right here, and this here is a life where I'm talking to students.
Now, when you say the Civil War, you mean the original one or the next one?
This is so boring. That's Jackie at his best, because comedy
Civil War
is based on
too.
truth, which was more boring.
Yeah.
Frightening. My God.
Now, you guys had 99 on the most recent stand-up memories, right? Or was that 2 ago? Or
no, she's on right now. Right now, if you go on standupmemories.com, she is our guest for this week. I mean, they're all posted. Once they're posted, they stay up. But she was posted on Wednesday, and she was just great. She's 90. I don't know how crazy she is about people screaming at. But 99 is 90. And she was just so smart and so cute. And I don't know about Peter, but I will admit that, yes, it twitched a little bit. But that could have been because I had to take a leak.
Now,
she was great, right, Pete?
Hey, Matt, there's a comedian on Long Island named Johnny Huff who does a funny joke that older people get. He says, when I was a kid, I used to jerk off. When I was a kid, I must have jerked off 100 times to 99. She was beautiful back
What's the funny part?
It's the 9.
This is a rare example of me getting covered by Jackie, but usually it's the other way around.
Right.
When I was 16, I used to jerk off to Maxwell Smart. I was horny, man.
Wow.
Just fun.
That explains a lot.
Wasn't bad.
That explains a lot. It explains
very much. Very, very much.
What comes after 69?
Mouthwash. There we go. Now
there you go. All right. This is really going downhill pretty quick.
No, this is great.
She was great. She was great.
Now, Peter, your style, I hadn't seen you before last Saturday night. I hadn't seen you do stand-up. Your style is very different than Jackie's. You're more a storyteller.
I am different from Jackie. I go for jokes and laugh.
Well, that's what I was going to get. GD was on the program yesterday. He was all upset with, that's the guy. I said, I heard him play something. I was like, that's an old joke. I was like, that's Jackie. That's what he does.
That's what he does, yeah.
That's what he does, and he's proud of it. And that's what he's known for. But he was surprised that, all I heard him do was an old joke. I was like, aren't they all old
That's
jokes?
the point.
No, I will argue about it. But, I want to give Peter a spotlight here, but I got to tell you the truth. I'll never forget the first time I saw Peter's act. But how could I forget? I saw it again Saturday night.
Hey, listen, I've been doing comedy since 1979, and I've got to tell everybody, since then I have at least 20 to 30 seconds of new material.
It throws me every time. I say, wow, when did you put that in? They say 2004. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting stuff.
Hey, listen, my Jimmy Carter,
the Civil War.
My Jimmy Carter jokes
doesn't change that much.
What?
He said the Civil War doesn't change that much.
The Civil War.
Bales is great on stage.
Depending upon my mood, sometimes the South can win that thing. You know, people don't know. They don't know the answer.
That's true. I mean, I find young people are woefully uneducated.
They are. When I'm teaching, I can instead of saying General Robert E. Lee, I can say Captain Crunch, and they'll write it down. Like, is that on the test?
Well, I mean, they just trust you. They trust you. They trust their professor.
Thank you.
When did you were you teaching even in the 70s when you were doing stand up?
No, I majored in theater, believe it or not, at Northwestern University, and I quickly realized I was bad as an actor, but I was good at comedy, and of course, Second City is located in Chicago, and I took workshops there with the famous Del Close, and I was hooked.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have an acting gig tomorrow night. I've been typecast as a mafia guy. It's not the first time I've played a mafia guy, and I'm kind of getting taught. I'm Bubba Brazzi, which is kind of like a direct ripoff of Luca Brasi, I guess. But I'm a dinner theater type of thing, and I've never done it before. And I have all these lines to learn by tomorrow night, and so I'm a little nervous about it.
Well, that's exciting. You're an actor, you see, and you can do it. I can play myself, but I can't do any other acting. As I say, I could not do Shakespeare without spitting. It just dribbles.
Matt, I think that's so cool. That's so cool that you're doing dinner theater. Like, where at? Like,
someplace on the South Shore.
He doesn't want to say the name because it's Taco Bell.
No, I don't know. I don't have the name of the place offhand. But it is a little theater type of thing. It is with Knock 'em Dead
you're not
Comedy.
even promoting. You're not promoting your own goddamn.
I think it's a private. I think it's a private affair. It's like it's a mafia wedding thing, you know, where they hire the Knock 'em Dead Comedy to come in and do a show for guests that are already sold out.
It's a private gig, yeah.
Oh, this is with Tony. This is you and Tony.
Yeah, me and Tony's troupe, and I'm subbing for a guy who usually plays the part, and is not available tomorrow night. So.
I'm super bummed I didn't get in. I should have got involved in some like Halloween haunted house thing because I would love to go scare the shit out of some people.
And you don't even need a costume.
I know.
No. I'm frightened right now. I got my hand on my holster. You know.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's fun. I'm jealous, Matt. That sounds like great fun.
Hey, Matt, I Knock 'em Dead Comedy is terrific, and I know a guy in that show. He's in drag in that show. Is Jeff Bosey?
Is he the guy playing Bruce or something?
I think, yeah, he's in drag there, and he's the lighting guy. So that's what's odd.
Wow.
He's in the show.
I'm a little bit nervous. I don't.
I'm joking about that. He's in the show.
That was very funny.
He's in drag when he's the lighting guy. No, that was fabulous.
Yeah.
That was great.
I'm a little more nervous now.
Thank you.
Yeah, you would be. You would be too.
Yeah. So I could Knock 'em Dead could be out of business as of Sunday morning by the time I ruin their show. And they
come on now.
So what do you play? Are you like a hitman or?
I am like one of the main characters. Yeah, I am the bodyguard, a soldier for the Bachelor Goop family.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Tell me about stand-up memories. Do you ever get a word in edgewise, Peter, or is Jackie like?
Actually, the truth is we have a great chemistry. I get plenty of words in edgewise, and it's just fun. And we have a great title for our show because that's really what we do. It's just a couple of older stand-ups sharing memories about the day, all the things that happened back in the day. And I can attest to what Jackie said before. He booked a lot of dirtbag gigs, and I was on them. And he said we got $50 per show, but he doesn't remember that we also got a cheeseburger if the cook has time.
Yeah,
if the cook has time. I like that.
In all truth, Peter is like the lead of the show. You know, he's like Dan Rowan. You know, he's the guy leading the charge, and I'm the guy there. You know,
you're
screwing things up. And it's I'm big Dick, but
yeah, that's my job here.
And it works.
Yeah, and
we really have fun. And people seem to like. Barbara really enjoyed the show. She gave us some really nice props. You know, she
Right.
was flabbergasted. We both actually read her book, but her book is fascinating, and it actually is. I'm not just saying that. You know,
Right.
she was married to a guy for 2 years who completely fabricated who he was. Completely
Whoa.
fabricated who he was, and he was married to. You got to read it to believe it. And she
Yeah.
forgave him. You know,
And the
seems
name
like
of the
'cause
book
she
is
had such
Getting
a good
Smarter, by
time.
the way. Might as well give her a plug. Getting Smarter, right?
Getting Smarter
Getting Smarter
is the name of the book. You know, I'm still upset about my joke that didn't work. You know, when I was a kid, I must have jerked off 100 times the 99. Thank you. Thank you. I got it better the second time. I think that's a great
And
joke.
that's because he scared you. If he didn't laugh, you'd tell it again. That's what just happened.
Barbara Feldman, getting back to stand
Carson would just keep going with the punchline. Just say 100 times the 99 over.
Yeah, 100 times the 99. She was wonderful. She bared her soul in her book called Getting Smarter, which I could never do. Tell every embarrassing thing that's happened to me in my life, you know, including this podcast. I could never do that. I could never do that in a book. She did it. She married a guy who said he was a pilot for Air France, but that was his cover because he was a secret agent, and she believed him.
Wow.
And
It's
got
kinda
married.
like
He had
the
a
Chuck-
second family with children. It's
So,
unbelievable.
wait, hang on a second. You're telling me that someone that played a secret agent in a TV show married a secret agent without knowing it?
Years
They were
before.
both fake. They were
Years
both
before.
not real agents. That's the irony. Neither one of them was a real
Right.
agent.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So he
It's-
was.
it's-
No, he
it's
was, or he
unbelievable.
wasn't. He
No,
was
he
a
was
secret.
not a real agent. He was a sociopath lying about it.
Oh my God, bro.
You're the
that was
only one who
crazy.
didn't pick up on that. I feel bad for you, Willie.
Listen, I have a lag between the ears.
I know
We've talked
that.
about it already this morning. I don't. What do you expect from me?
No, I get it.
You
No,
know, some stuff is so crazy. You know the show, did we talk about that? The show Hogan's Heroes? There was a little
Yeah.
tiny guy, a little French guy, and
Yeah.
the show is about a concentration camp, but that little guy, that actor, spent 2 years in real life in a concentration camp in the
right.
40s.
Robert.
And then he
LeBeau.
came to America, right? And then he wound up in Hollywood, or New York, and he wound up on that show. So he's playing a guy at a concentration camp, but he spent 2 years. It's hard to believe. You'd think they would have talked about that, you know? Like,
Right.
I mean,
Jesus,
yeah,
that's
I got to be
crazy, you
honest.
know?
Like, I don't think I did. For as much as I might be able to play the role really good, I don't know how willing I'd be to like go play an inmate. I don't want to sit in the cell. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I don't want to do that shit. You know what I mean?
You guys are making fun of my background here, Willie. You look like you're in a prison right now. That's
I'm,
where are you right now?
I'm outside because I wanted to smoke today. I know, like, a part of why I get like antsy towards the end of the show or whatever is because I'm freaking out because I haven't had nicotine or anything. So I wanted to smoke.
You were smoking before on camera.
Yeah, no, today I'm outside. I'm literally outside. So and it's cold as shit. I'm surprised you guys haven't like seen, but some of this hasn't been smoke. It's just my breath. It's fucking cold out
That
here.
doesn't even look like a prison cell. It looks like you're in solitary, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
It looks like
I
on a
mean,
4x4,
yeah.
you know?
Or it looks like from my experience, it looks like a refrigerator room at a beer distributor where you can just walk in and pick up your cases.
Or as we call it in
Right.
as us rock and roll musicians call it, the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
exactly.
Peter, just to fill you in a little on Willie's background, he has been to prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to like.
No, it's all right. It's totally fine.
No, he also got his nut shot off in a gunfight.
I did.
So
I did.
when you talk about colorful past, I don't think you'll find anybody on the planet with more colorful.
You should have warned us about that. No nut shooting off jokes and no prison jokes.
I tell him. Why can't you?
Well, no, see, Matt, there is the weather guy Matt, there is the weather guy in Wichita, Kansas, who has the same background as Willie.
Right.
So
You
he has the other one.
Jackie, you didn't know that he got his nut shot off in a gunfight?
How would I have known that, or did you?
I thought
If you guys
because we
said
talk
that, I
about it
probably
all
thought
the time.
I thought you were kidding around if you ever mentioned that when I was on.
No, we call him
Because
one nut Willie.
I've communicated with him privately and gone, I thought, at least a little bit deep, right? Willie,
No.
and,
Sure, a little bit. I guess I'm sorry I haven't sent you a picture of my scrotum yet, Jackie. I'll get right on that.
how do you
Well,
get
listen,
your nuts shut
thank
off
you for
and not
sharing that.
die?
I have 3 jokes here that I cannot do now because
No, please.
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear them. I do.
I have one question. Who pulled the trigger, you or somebody else?
Somebody else.
Oh.
And they were a good
So you
shot
weren't-
because they were aiming for that nut.
No.
Oh, just
I actually.
one? You only lost
What?
one?
Yeah, no, yeah. So only one of them got shot. I got hit with a 22. I took 2 hits from a 22 during a shootout. So that's actually what happened.
I just felt that.
The most amazing thing about that is that Willie has never written a country song about it.
Right.
What's really amazing about this is how could anything hit such a small target?
Oh,
go.
thank you.
Wow.
The doctor did say something about how I was lucky my testicles were so small. That's true.
Again, I hit home. I didn't mean to hit home with that. That was just a
That
joke.
is home.
And it missed the penis, which is even
Here's
smaller.
the other surprising
What
thing.
really makes me mad though? What really makes me mad though is this happened in 1999, and in 1999 I had 2 girls pregnant at the same time. Okay, at the time that I got shot, there was one girl that already had one of my babies, and there was another girl that was about to have one of my babies, and I was 18, and I looked at that doctor and I was like, "Hey, man, is there any way you could like snip the other one while you're there?" And he was like, "Oh, you're so young. Like, I don't think that that's medically necessary. We can't do that." And 5 kids later, I sure fucking wish they would have clipped that other fucking one. You know what I mean? Like, God damn it.
You know what, Will? You should write a book about this, and I bet you'd win the Nobel Prize.
The Nobel Prize. Nice.
Hey, that's a
Nice.
good one. You gotta give it.
Yeah.
That's
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a cheap joke. You got 5 kids?
7.
With one nut?
7 altogether, but 5 just off of 1.
5
Yeah.
more on the 1.
Yeah, all with different women. I was a really bad dude before I went to prison.
If you ever get
Like, I haven't had any kids since I went to prison, just so everyone knows. Like, I stopped doing that. Like,
if you ever get smugged, all you got to do is yell "charge." Jesus Christ! What you got an army? My God, 7!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
yeah.
Willie,
No, I remember. So, well, I remember when in '99 when I had those 2 girls pregnant at the same time, I was telling one of my buddies at work, and this lady, like on the other side of him, like overheard me telling my friend that I had 2 girls pregnant at the same time, and she was like, "Oh my God, what were you thinking?" And I was like, "Well, I figure I want to take over the world, and I figure what better way than just raise up my own army." You know what I mean?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, every time you say 99, Peter wants to go jerk off. So
wait, I got a
down with the
great
99.
joke. It hasn't gotten to the spot that I wanted to get yet. But Willie, you're terrific, man. I love this. I think you could make a fortune renting yourself out as a before picture.
Jesus Christ!
You are what a
My
colorful
God.
past you have. I mean, that's just what a story.
You ain't heard half of it yet.
Yeah, no kidding. It keeps going deeper and deeper. I've had an unbelievable life.
When you say somebody's colorful, that is the subtext of that is what an asshole.
I don't know.
That's like bless his heart.
Yeah.
So the obvious question that nobody's asked was one of the 2 girls you had pregnant at the same time. Is that who shot you in the balls?
Okay, so I don't really get into I don't get into the specifics of who shot me or that kind of thing. It was a huge. I shouldn't say huge, but it was a big enough altercation that I definitely don't. I don't know. I can't get too specific. I guess.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You could
Wow.
just say no. You could just say no.
Yeah.
Was it one of those two girls? No. And then we're on to
I
the
mean,
next subject.
it wasn't. I don't think it was related to that. No, not necessarily.
There you go. Next subject.
All right, Willie, I just have to warn you that if you keep talking about your issues, you're going to have to give all of us plus the audience a copay.
Right.
Okay. right.
I love that you're sharing your issues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now we've gone completely off the rails here.
Willie got shot in the willy.
Willie got
I will say the doctors told me it missed everything that it needed to miss for me to function normally. You know what I mean? Because that was a concern. Like I did get I actually had like a couple ruptured cells when they did an emergency catheter to because they had to like pump this dye into me to make sure that I wasn't like leaking anywhere. You know what I mean?
Now I
Willie,
know why we never discussed this. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Willie,
Yeah, see, that was the wrong direction to go. Okay, my bad.
My concern, Willie, is that your doctor said that they missed everything they needed to miss for you to function normally. So why don't you function normally?
Exactly.
Well, I think he meant as far as my plumbing goes. All of that is normal.
Yeah. You can't undo.
It's a shame they didn't shoot you in the head where they couldn't do any damage.
Right.
No kidding. Yeah, I probably would have been just fine if that would have been the case.
Might have made some improvements. Might have made the connection
Oh my God.
a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's bring it back to
Peter. Yeah, Peter and Jackie.
Peter and Jackie now
Professor
performing.
Bales.
Doing opening for Jackie. Now, you have this crowd there now. Because I was surprised that the crowd was young. It was as young as it was. I would think Jackie's prime audience would be more like 50 and over, not 35 to 50.
Actually, young people love Jackie's acts because jokes are jokes and they're timeless.
Yeah.
And of course, older people love the memories, but a lot of young people are hearing the jokes for the first time. That's the absolute truth. So his crowd is mixed.
There was a decent amount of older people there too. It was a real smattering. People come and they bring their sons and then they bring their grandchildren. It's kind of frightening, but it's kind of nice at the same time.
It could be that I'm just getting so old that everybody looks young to me.
Hey, but Matt, I recently performed at an assisted living facility, did comedy, and it went great. But on the way out to the parking lot, a couple of guys in white coats grabbed me. They wanted to take me back to my room.
You need to take your mask.
I did a VA assisted living facility yesterday, and I was really surprised by how cognizant they were. But in the past, because I do a lot of that kind of stuff, volunteer work and paid work in those kind of facilities, and I used to do magic in a dementia ward. And basically, they would laugh at the set. They would go, "Wow!" at the setup. Like in my hand, I hold a rubber ball. Oh my God! Like that was.
I think it almost seems rude to do magic in a dementia ward. Like they're already confused.
Yeah, and exactly, you don't really have to finish the trick on anything. They applaud no matter what.
The truth is, performing for vets is the right thing to do and very rewarding, right, Matt?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. Now there have been a few where last week I got 2 90-year-old guys got in a fight. One guy was like 95, and they were in wheelchairs fighting each other and trying to break that up. And they were fighting over who gets to rock out next to me more. They were, they're doing this in the wheelchair, and one guy punched the guy in the face accidentally. Before you know it, I'm trying to break up a wheelchair fight.
Wait. Are you making a joke or this happened?
No, it was absolute. This was last week at it wasn't at the Northport VA. Where the hell was that?
Jesus.
I can't.
That's
now
funny.
I'm having
You're
to
working for old people and you can't remember. That's great.
Hey, Matt, you do realize that is a great topic for stand-up material.
Oh yeah,
it sure
absolutely.
is.
The one that you would, and I'm still struggling because I did this a little bit as a stand-up thing. It did okay, but my delivery on it is weak. But I went in. I was late to getting to a gig, for at an assisted living place, and I was rushing, and I turned around. And my first song was "Little Help from My Friends," and it starts out, "What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out of me?" And I'm open my eyes, and the entire room was no legs, people in wheelchairs with no legs, and I'm singing, "Would you stand up and walk out of me?" Except one guy who had a half a leg, like tied into like a little sausage, and this like a little ball on the end of his knee, and it was bopping to the music in time.
Oh,
I thought you were
I
going to
one
say he got
time.
up and hopped out on you.
That'd be
One
great.
time I
Wow,
got
that-
such a big laugh. I got a big laugh, a huge laugh at an assisted living facility. And the woman was in a wheelchair and she reared back her whole body and she dislodged herself from her oxygen. And let's just say I really killed. It was, oh,
I killed the guy.
That's awful.
I definitely killed once at the VA, the building 8 at the Northport. There was a guy who actually died on my watch. I was going there to play for a room of 40 people. One guy showed up and he had been in a coma for 2 months. So I'm playing for a guy who's hasn't said a word, opened his eyes, spoken in 2 months. He's sitting there in a wheelchair, and I'm like, I had to do a show for him. I'm dancing around them. I'm doing all kinds of silly stuff, and the nurses are cracking up. And then I called the agent. I said, "Listen, this guy, he doesn't even know I'm here." He said, "Do one more song and get out of there." And I did an original song for him that I had written years ago, and it was like a spiritual thing. Line says, "I know I got a friend in Jesus. I know he died for me." When I got to that line, the guy opened his eyes, looked at the light, tried to grab the light, said a few words that I didn't get, and died. And I went to the
Bro,
nurse.
are you serious?
Yeah, I went to the nurse. I said, I think he's
I know
gone.
what he said. He said it's not worth staying alive for this shit.
I'm out of here. This show sucks. Could have said that. But the nurse came in, checked his pulse, and he was gone.
I'm leaving before he sings another song. This is crazy, you know.
Yeah, I was hoping that he wouldn't have to do one more song, but yeah. So
That's
I
so,
actually
you know, wow.
killed the guy. There's got to be.
that's never happened to me. That's never. I've never had a person die in my audience. Jack, have you ever had a person die?
You know what? I've never even had anybody with like one of those things where they had to jumpstart their heart or anything. But you know, I don't like talking about it because the minute you talk about it, that's what's gonna. Do you guys all know the story of Park Your Carcass? Did we talk about that?
No.
There was a radio comedian in the 40s and late 40s named his stage name, his radio comedy name was Park Your Carcass, and he was the father of Super Dave Bob Einstein.
Oh, yeah.
And Albert Brooks, because Albert Brooks' real name is Albert Einstein. And their father was doing a roast for Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, I think 1949. And he got up and destroyed the place. He brought the house down, and Milton Berle was the MC, and he sat down and he died face first into his soup. And everybody thought he was fooling around. And then they realized that this is a absolutely true story. They realized he was dead, and Milton Berle is literally yelling, "Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house?" And the doctor came up, and Milton didn't know this is absolutely true. And Tony Martin was on the dais, and he's a singer, and he had like the number 1 or number 2 song in the entire country. And Milton is freaking out, and he turned to Tony Martin and said, "Jesus Christ, Tony, sing something." And Tony Martin's song, right then, his hit song, he started singing, "There's No Tomorrow." I swear to God. Google it. Google it.
I'm fucking, yeah. Oh, God, I am. I totally am.
All right, I got to segue that to Peter because you work with Rich Walker in Stand Up University.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the plug.
When I first met Rich, he told me a story about a doctor who was a comedian on Long Island his act was as a doctor. And I don't know if you know this guy.
Yes, I do. His name is Dr. Harry Friedman, and he does a put on. He does his whole act as a doctor, a surgeon.
What? And who would do that?
Doesn't he also impersonate a comedian?
Now, from what Rich told me, he was doing that doctor act, and somebody had a heart attack and died right in front of, or was dying right in front of him. And the audience was looking at him like, do something, because he played it so convincingly that they all thought he was a doctor.
And Harry had to look at the audience and go, "Sorry, folks, I'm not a real doctor."
Who would do a comedy thing,
thing.
a character like that? Who would do that's stupid. That's ridiculous. I don't
It
understand
works.
It's
It's almost as bad
Hold
as
on.
if like somebody wasn't really a reverend and they were just like,
yes, it's exactly. Why would somebody? Why would somebody
put on like that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Listen.
Tonight, governors,
Do you
my
know
governors,
that
you've heard enough.
Vince Edwards stopped going to the Playboy Mansion because he played Ben Casey. Every time he went to the Playboy Mansion, people come up and say, "My arm hurts, my leg hurts." He's like, "Are you a fucking idiot? I play a doctor on television. I don't know what you're." No, but seriously, my thigh hurts. It's easier to stay home. You know? People are stupid.
Wow.
You know, they're stupid.
But of all the folklore about, I'm surprised that story isn't bigger. The one with more people don't know that story.
We have to say goodbye to Govs. We forgot to say goodbye to
thank
Govs.
you for reminding me. Yeah,
Well,
Govs.
Kelly reminded me in the comments. I see Kelly's comment here.
I was yelling it for like 30 seconds. My Lord, nobody listens to a black guy anymore.
You said say goodbye to
if there was a
Govs.
black guy yelling in a room of whites, you'd be listening. But Lord,
I didn't hear you. I didn't even say anything.
No, I don't think anybody heard you. But
Hey, Matt.
you know.